Ladies and gentlemen, welcome to Hero Movie Podcast, your greatest source of superhero movie discussion in the multiverse. I am your host, Adam Portrais, and I'm joined by Sean King.
2017 is the year that Heidi was made an honest woman.
And of course, Bruce Leslie.
And 2017 was the year Prickly Pear was made a dishonest man.
You can take the dishonest man out of the... Well, I don't know where this is going because we haven't rehearsed. Because let me tell you something. You can't rehearse for the end of the year, man. It's like the apocalypse. You don't know when it's coming. It's just coming. And when it happens, you just better be darn well prepared. And we are prepared here today to go over the year that was 2017 on HMP. We got a lot of awards to give out. Hopefully they'll be here. Hopefully when we call their name, they'll walk up to the podium. We'll see. Probably not, just because this will be year number 3 that no one showed up. So listen, we'll do it.
Hold on, we got about an hour left. You never know who might ring the old doorbell.
You never know. Speedy delivery. So we'll be doing some of that stuff, man, and we'll be thanking you guys as well. Speaking of which, I would like to thank the people that take the time out to email us over at heromoviepodcast@gmail.com. You know what that means. It's time to open up the old HMP mailbag. If it wants to play for me. Hold on. Come on, jerk. There it is.
Bale's here.
And we've got a couple of the emails. This one is from Tim. It's entitled Merry Christmas / Year End. Hey, guys, just wanted to take a sec. What in the heck? Stop that, guy. That's coming from another thing. I'll talk about that little gem in just a moment. Hey, guys, this is from Tim. Hey, guys, just wanted to take a second to wish you all wish you all well this Christmas, and here's hoping that you have a terrific 2018. Sean, great to have you back. Your witty repartee was missed during your absence. Bruce, your knowledge and dad jokes never fail to amuse. Also, you keep writing them, I'll keep reading them.
Oh, yeah.
Adam, nice glasses? I kid because I love. Thanks, Adam, for being the heart of the show and fantastic host week after week. Stay super. That is from Tim. P.S. Adam, please reconsider your Tim Drake rating for Logan. It is by far the best superhero movie of the past year. Back me up, guys. So we'll see.
Beep, beep, beep. Back it up.
We'll discuss it.
So, on this year-end special, we do have the ability to go back and re-rate any of the things that we have rated this past year, be that make it better or even make it worse. How about that? One more email here. It's entitled, Thank You, HMP. Hey guys, just wanted to thank you for an amazing 2017's worth of content. Everything has been amazing. I love supporting this show, be it by Patreon or by wearing my HMP swag. This year, I introduced my little guy who's 5 to the show. I honestly did not know someone as young as him could like a podcast as much as he enjoys listening to you guys. He especially loves whenever anyone says humdinga.
Humdinga.
He wears his little HMP shirt with pride and actually told people it's a good podcast and that they should listen to it. Now, granted, I have heard the Lego Batman episode at least 30 times, but it's all good. Keep up the great work, guys, and may 2018 bring great things to you and yours, Maria from upstate New York.
Well, thank you,
She's a
Maria.
gem, I tell you. She's a gem.
I hope the same for you and yours.
Thank you guys for those emails. And if you would like to email us, of course, you can reach us at heromoviepodcast@gmail.com.
Bale's here.
And as my thing kind of alluded to there, if you are a member of the Patreon team, if you're listening to this, you're listening to it on Christmas. And if you were a member of our Patreon team, you actually received The Night Before Christmas as rewritten and read by Stan Lee. So, there's always advantages to, depends on how you look at it. But, so do that, man. We really appreciate it. And since Patreon got on the whole... they're not going to really screw you guys over with the payments and stuff as they were planning on doing. it's a nice thing to get back into. So keep an eye out for that. You'll always get new and exclusive stuff and all that kind of jazz. And plus,
That's the only place you can hear Sean's story time.
It's Sean's story time. We've done that a couple weeks now. Bruce is talking about how he really wants to own suits of armor.
Hey, we got some interest in the whole the stabbing law of the jungle last week.
Stabbing law of the jungle. Oh my gosh! Well, we got so many tweets on that people were just like, "This is the best thing ever." The stabbing law of the jungle. How do you get these stories? You might ask. Patreon.com/HMP. You get the pre-show, a little tiny post-show at the end, some bonus episodes and stuff every now and then. And we really appreciate each and every one of you guys for that. From the dollar level all the way up to the executive producer levels and stuff, you guys are the best, and the reason this show keeps on keeping on, man. So it is 2017, gentlemen. I think we have had a fantastic year, and we have some awards to give out here. So let's start with the best worst hammy acting. Actually, let me see if I can hold on. I gotta make sure all my stuff's going here because the iTunes keeps wanting to play the next thing, and I'm like, this is not what I'm telling you to do. Okay, because I gotta play a little bit of a little Oscar music here in the middle. Because it just, it gives us a formal, it makes people believe we're wearing tuxes, is what I'm essentially saying.
Wait a minute, you guys aren't?
Yeah, I am.
I mean, it's
totally
it's a tuxedo T-shirt, but it's.
Oh, I'm wearing a suit made of tux medicated pads.
Wow, there's going to be a large portion of the audience that goes, "What's a tux medicated pad?"
Google it.
Really hammering home the youth audience here, aren't we?
There also used to be a gum called AIDS.
That's true.
Oh man,
I want that black licorice gum. Sounds the most delightful. So the first award up tonight is for best worst hammy acting, and the nominees are George Hamilton as Bunny Wigglesworth / Zorro the Gay Blade. Excellent choice. Jim Carrey as The Mask. Patrick Warburton as the Tick. Or Robert Culp in The Greatest American Hero. As we do with this show, we go around, we ask each of us what we think of these nominations, and then we come to a consensus for what we have. So let's start with Sean. Sean, of these categories, best worst hammy acting.
Man, this is a tough one between Robert Culp and Jim Carrey. Man, Jim Carrey's made a career out of being a hammy actor. So I'm going to go Robert Culp on this. Robert Culp, when I was a kid watching Greatest American Hero, I couldn't stand that character. But now he is the best part of that show.
Absolutely.
More Robert Culp on that show, please.
I'm going to go with, George. Now, this wasn't one that you hit. You weren't here for this one, but I'm going George Hamilton as Bunny Wigglesworth / Zorro the Gay Blade. It is so over the top in the best of ways. And honestly, I don't know why that's not more of a cult, character that you see at Dragon Cons and things of that nature, because that would be a hit. And there's so many different costumes. I think
we figured out your costume then for next year for
Oh
Dragon
my
Con.
goodness, Bruce, what do you got?
Oh man, Jim Carrey in The Mask. You guys like that movie better than I did. I think. I think Jim Carrey got a little old to me after watching it for an hour and a half. Patrick Warburton, I love the Tick. I love his performance, but also he brings that same performance to a lot of different stuff. Robert Culp, that was the toughest of the also-rans was Robert Culp, because he does make Greatest American Hero watchable now rather than his co-stars. But I'm with you, Adam. It comes down to George Hamilton, because he was overacting with a heavy Spanish accent that was almost certainly offensive. He was overacting with a heavy English accent that was almost certainly offensive. He was overacting as a cross-dresser, which was almost certainly offensive. But at the end, it all blended together to just be this pure joy of hamminess. It was like ham salad there, man. So I've got to go with George Hamilton as Bunny Wigglesworth, Zorro the Gay Blade.
Man, I got to see that movie.
George Hamilton, you have won yourself an award, my friend. Come on up.
He's the one I was hoping would show up.
Hello, everybody. I'm George Hamilton.
That's a spot on, Mr. Hamilton.
We go on now to our next category, best animated movie, i.e. the Keenan Award. The nominees are all Batman here, Lego Batman, Batman and Harley Quinn, or Batman the Animated Series episode, Heart of Ice. Ooh, tough category. Bruce, where are you going?
Well, man, Lego Batman was a lot of fun. It was your most anticipated movie of the year. Probably not my most anticipated. I will say this. I was a little disappointed after Lego Batman. It was a good movie, but I think I had built it up too high. Batman and Harley Quinn was garbage from start to finish. You got to have a third horse in the race sometimes. But Batman, the animated series, Heart of Ice, though it's not technically a movie, it's better than any animated movie that we've watched this year. So I'm going to vote for Batman, the animated series, what I think is the greatest episode of that series, Heart of Ice.
Very good. Keenan, I know you didn't see the Batman and Harley Quinn, but that may be to your advantage.
It sounds like it is. I have the exact opposite reaction to that movie that I do with Zorro the Gay Blade. I think that, as much guff as I've given you, Adam, over the past year about your anticipation for Lego Batman, I really do like that movie a lot. It's a shame that it didn't catch on the way that Lego Movie did, and because it's almost as clever as Lego Movie is. So I'm gonna go Lego Movie. I mean, I love Batman the Animated Series. I really do. But there's something special about Lego Batman. So I'm going Lego Batman.
Yeah, for me, it's very, very close because Heart of Ice is a classic episode. It is a reinvention of, a classic Batman character and is the way that we think about that character now. But at the end of the day, I think what really kind of holds it together is that it is only, 22 odd minutes of animated stuff, whereas Lego Batman is a full feature and is definitely rewatchable for, if nothing else, looking at everything in the background and catching all the inside jokes and all the other little throwaway things that are everywhere. So I'm going to go just by a hair Lego Batman on this one. So Lego Batman, you have won yourself an award. So walk your square tail right on up here, Mr. Mr.
Hello, I'm Will Arnett as Batman. Give me my award.
Yes, sir. He's gotten his award. All right, on to, this is going to be a good one, I think.
Yeah.
These are all retros, and the next category is Best Pilot. And the nominees are Greatest American Hero, Wonder Woman 77, or The Flash from 1990. I think mine is going to be the biggest surprise. Let's start with Bruce.
Oh, man, this is a tough one. This is a tough one for a couple of reasons. Number one, because none of these ran away with it. Like, these are three flawed pilots. Number two, I think that the nostalgic part of our audience out there that maybe hasn't watched this show in a while is really saying, come on, you got to pick Greatest American Hero. But I got to tell you, man, that was a pretty slow pilot. Like, that pilot was one of the weaker episodes of Greatest American Hero. Now, Wonder Woman, I loved it, man. I loved the silent Lyle Wagner dogfight in the airplane where it's like, I don't think they knew what they were doing. I like a lot of the campiness. I like the bracers and bullets showdown on the island. But then we got my man John Wesley Shipp in The Flash 1990, a show that I think Sean liked better than I did. I think we even talked about how it was doomed because it went up against Twin Peaks perhaps in the lineup. But, after careful consideration and a little bit of chewing on my fingernails, I'm going to give the nod to Wonder Woman 77 because when in doubt, you can't go wrong with chowder buckets.
I've always said that. That's been my mantra for years now. Sean, your nomination.
Well, when it comes to Greatest American Hero, Stephen J. Cannell had to have something to do with that show. I can't remember if he did or not, but just from rewatching it as an adult, all the beats of a Stephen J. Cannell show are in there, and it's not. It's really hard to watch. I remembered it being a lot better, a lot better.
Yeah.
Wonder Woman, to me, the theme song to Wonder Woman adds so much to that show. Because that is a plotting, very, very slow show. But the music in that, and not just the theme song, but also the interstitial music, all of that. Like it makes it far more watchable. But to me, because as I've said many, many times before on this show, you either have to make your show really, really good or really, really bad in order for me to love it. And the Flash pilot for 1990 John Wesley Shipp, that is a very, very bad show. But I love it. I love it so much. It steals from Batman like way too much. It steals way too much from Dick Tracy. It doesn't matter. It's so it is a hobo barrel fire of a pilot. And I love it so much. It's so instantly rewatchable to me. If that comes back on, I know I will watch it again. I know I will. So that's my nomination, is the 1990 Flash pilot.
Now, this is interesting because this is certainly not where I would have thought I would have initially gone. But, man, I got to go Greatest American Hero. As stupid as it...
We've got a hung jury.
Yeah, as stupid as it was, it's all out.
Hung jury?
I love the fact that it's just like it starts off and he's just like this, rebel teacher and everything, trying to get his stuff across. And it comes off as like this, 80s after school special sort of thing. I'm going to turn around the chair and rap to you kids about how awful you are and get you back into shape. And then
Adam, try to justify it as you might. We know it all comes down to the answering machine message for George Costanza.
Hey, look, I'm not going to sit there and tell you that that's not at least an eighth of the answer about this, but it's so corny and so stupid. It's a lot of because I think this one it's at least an hour long, right?
Oh man, yeah. It feels a lot longer than that.
7 hours.
It's a 7.5 hour feature. And
didn't you fully expect at one point for when he's talking to the kids, William Catt does flip that chair around, sits down, and he goes, "Listen, guys, I'm going to tell you about the best rapper of all time." William Shakespeare. Like, didn't you expect to see something like that?
It was close.
Yeah.
And then all the kids that the one teenager that kind of wants to get with him and stuff, and he's just like, what are you like 17? Get out of here. He's like, he doesn't want to have anything to do with that. And dude, I'm sorry for that show and the budget that they blew getting down that big alien ship and everything.
Man, that was cool.
That is
cool.
impressive for that time, dude. For network television to have something that was as good as like Close Encounters. Come on.
That was cool.
So I've convinced you all that Greatest American Hero is the correct answer, right?
Absolutely not. Hung jury?
Hung jury it is.
That's a three-way tie, man.
That's a three-way tie. No one goes home a winner. That's we've always known.
It's like when you get involved in a hammer fight. There's no winner in a hammer fight.
I'd say the last one to swing it does.
One person dies in the street, the other dies in the ambulance. That's what I learned about hammer fighting, which happened way more than you'd think.
If there's anything my grandmother has taught me lo these many years.
You bring a ball peen to a jackhammer fight, my friend.
That'll learn you.
Wait a minute, we can bring jackhammers?
I wasn't aware of this.
The guy over there's got a nail gun. This is getting way out of hand.
That's not even a hammer.
It's a type of hammer because it goes with the nails. I don't think you know how this works. Shut up.
Look at that guy swinging MC Hammer around by the ankle.
Please, hammer don't hurt him.
It's the most dangerous weapon of all. Next category here is Best TV Villain, and the nominees are The Shadow King from Legion, Savitar from The Flash Season 3, Jackie Earle Haley from The Tick on Amazon, or Sigourney Weaver in The Defenders. I got to go Shadow King from Legion here. And the reason why is that this character is on screen, but half of the time he's out of focus and just kind of lingering in the background. And of all of the villains and stuff that we've got this year, I think he's probably one of the most, scary ones that we've actually had. He doesn't even do a lot, but literally his presence can bring about, fear. You see that guy in the background, this big kind of blob,
definitely
just
creepy
looking. I loved it. So I'm going Shadow King from Legion. Bruce, what do you got?
Well, man, if I were the kind of person who was going to vote on this objectively and really vote for who was probably the best villain, I too would vote for the Shadow King. But because I'm me, I'm voting for Jackie Earle Haley as the Terror because I love that guy. I love those teeth. You can't go wrong with the little Jackie Earle Haley.
Okay, it's tough for me to get think a real villain is tough at 5'2", but okay, Sean.
Well, he's 117 years old. What do you expect?
And 117 pounds too.
I think Kelly is way more menacing than the Terror. Look, man, it's Shadow King all day. You guys know how much I love Legion. I love that show. I can't wait for it to come back. It's great. I think that the Shadow King is one of those characters that, let's say everything goes wrong, right? And they put Shadow King in one of the bad X-Men movies, you know, and he's the main villain. They would have completely bungled it and made it terrible. Yeah. Whereas the showrunner on Legion knows exactly the right amount of Shadow King, and it is creepy and weird and great, and that's why Shadow King is my favorite.
They kept it nice and creepy. They went Jaws on it, man. They said, look, you only need to see this much, and just the threat of it being there is what's truly going to be scary. So congratulations to you, Shadow King. How about you slither your way on up those stairs?
Yeah, go pick your ward up at Adam's house, not mine.
Pick yourself up at a ward while I'm going to be sleeping tonight. He's going to be over in bed going, I thought I'm here for an award.
Shaddy!
Oh, Mr. King. Why are you snuggling up to me? Get away from me. Best movie villain. So we did TV villain. Here's the best movie villain. This one should be an interesting one. Oh, I love this category, actually, because it takes a twist. First up, the one we've most recently seen, Kylo Ren in The Last Jedi. Hela in Thor Ragnarok. Michael Keaton as the Vulture there in Spider-Man Homecoming. Or Bob Kane in Batman and Bill, the documentary that we did on Hulu not too long ago. Ooh, let's go, Keenan.
Okay, well, in real life, Bob Kane is an actual, honest-to-God supervillain.
Right.
And man, I mean, just what an awful human being. And never learned a lesson. Like, never, no repercussions. No, nothing. Like he lived his life fancy and wonderful, and stole from everyone, and never got busted for it. So he is a real life villain, but I can't do it, guys. You know who I'm going with on this one. It's Michael Keaton, man. Michael Keaton.
That was put there just for you, Sean.
It's Michael Keaton all day, man. Michael Keaton is such a good villain. He's just such a good actor, but he's such a good villain that literally the conversation went from, is Loki the best supervillain, to, okay, so Loki's pretty good, but Michael Keaton as the Vulture is great. Like, I mean, that's the conversation.
Good, he was
so look, the problem Marvel has had for 100 years now. You know, what are we? 15 years in now?
Yep.
No, we're 10 years in. We're 10 years into the Marvel universe. They have three really great villains so far, right? And the Vulture is one of them. The Vulture is great, and I cannot wait. I cannot wait to see what they do with that character, because they're just going to park a dump truck full of money up to Keaton's house.
I mean, yeah, the Vulture, I would say the Vulture, Loki, and Obadiah Stane are the only good villains they've had.
Absolutely. You were absolutely right.
I'm going Keaton as well, because the thing is like where you knew that he was such a great villain was not something that was super villainy. Was like when Peter goes into the house and everything, and him just kind of having that back and forth conversation with Michael Keaton, just looking back at him, just kind of knowing, I got you. I know what this is. I'm not playing around here. I'm not stupid. And he wasn't a dumb, even despite, the history of the Vulture and everything, he's not like a stupid, dumb criminal. He's a smart guy who does what he does for a particular reason, and literally just goes, look, I'm into making a whole bunch of money because people are screwing me out of the money that I should be earning in my regular job, so I'm going to do whatever I do. So at the same time, you kind of see why he's doing what he's doing, so you don't really you don't hate him that much, but he is a really bad dude when you really truly get down to it. Bruce, what is your choice?
You know, there's only one name on this list that makes me break out into the kind of sweats that Jason Patrick had in that movie Rush when he was withdrawing from whatever the drugs were.
You guys ever get those Jason Patrick sweats? Those are bad.
And you know, I'm also going to say that I'm proud to have a picture, however illicit it was to take that picture. I'm proud to have a picture of me with the crazy guy that smacked Bob Kane in the face and said that was for Bill Finger, because Bob Kane is the only villain on this list. The rest, they got their upsides. You know, a good villain should be sympathetic, which Bob Kane isn't, so I shouldn't be voting that way. But since my vote doesn't really matter, Bob Kane.
I would pay $500 plus to watch that slapping because, first of all, he's not a big man. I mean,
not at all.
Now, like, from my impressions, Bob Kane is not some sort of colossal human being, but
he's like 6'3", though. I mean, he's tall compared, especially for the day that he lived.
Did Steranko have to get on a stepladder, or was he sitting down in a chair? What was going on at this?
You've played Mike Tyson's Punch-Out, right?
Oh, he just hit the little select button and went boop, 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 boop.
Yeah,
boop.
you know how you had to, like, jump and punch? That's what he had to do, man. He had to jump and smack.
Man, the other part to this is that I actually I have a Jason Patrick story. I worked I do. I worked with him on a show many, many years ago. And at this point, the fall of Jason Patrick had started, and he could see it coming, and he was not happy to be working on the movie.
The winter of my Jason Patrick.
That's right. Winter is coming for Jason Patrick. And he was a miserable, miserable man on the movie we were working on. And he was so miserable, in fact, that he started picking fights with the prop master. And the prop master on the show happened to be this guy. I've been friends with him for 20 years, and he is a super great guy. But he's also very mild-mannered. But the part of him that you don't know is that he also is a Marine. And so Jason Patrick starts picking fights with this guy, and one day literally knocks his chair over and says to him, "Come on, let's go." And somebody walks up to Jason Patrick and goes, he is a former Marine. And Jason Patrick goes, "Oh, I'm sorry," and walks off. And that was it.
Hey, we have the gumption to just be
move
like,
I make is I jump
Marine.
up and go, "I'll have you know I'm a former Marine biologist."
and just, I mean, talking about like just comical, like I'm a tough guy, like moment to have him just like sashay away the second that he heard, oh, this guy could completely destroy me and tear me to bits. I got to get out of here.
Oh, now I like to imagine that same story happening like at an accountant's office, you know, just weird.
I believe that he has probably picked fights with many, many, many people.
And backed down from several as well.
I would imagine, yes.
He's not a big dude, I don't think, right?
He's not super tall, though. He's not, and he's in good shape because he has to be. It's his job, but he's not big.
That's from doing Pilates. What are you going to do over there? All right. Anyways, on to the next category. Congratulations, Michael Keaton. Come down and get your award.
Michael, please come get your award. I'd like to talk to you.
It'd be a blast. Next category is best female hero. I was combining the next two words. Hero in series. A hero from a series. Best female hero from a series. And the nominees are Betty Cooper from Riverdale, Jean Smart from Legion, Medusa from Inhumans, or why don't we just go ahead and give it to her now, Jessica Jones from The Defenders.
Now, hold on. I like my designing women. I wanted to talk up Jean Smart a little bit.
Me too. Keep going.
Okay, so let's start with you, Bruce. You have an opinion. Let's hear it.
I like Jean Smart, man. She brings something to Legion that's missing all too often in superhero TV series these days. And, I like it that she was able to hang with the sugar bakers, though she wasn't a sugar baker. So I'm going to give it to Jean Smart, man. She brought something that was lacking in Medusa's performance in Inhumans.
That's very true. I mean, honestly, she was, she's playing kind of our Professor X, if you will, for Legion and everything. She does bring a gravity to that character and to the show itself that you're right, it is truly missing in a lot of other of these shows. Sean, I bet you're going Medusa and Inhumans, right?
That's correct.
Okay.
She's so great. She doesn't look lost at all. She's wonderful. The performance is amazing. Actually, I wanted to start by talking about Jean Smart. Jean Smart has that same level of gravity to this role that it's why you bring in Dennis Quaid to season 2 of a show on Amazon. Like you know that something is lacking, so let's bring this heavy hitter in, because we're going to be able to feed all these great lines to this person, and they're going to be able to knock it out of the park. And that is why Jean Smart is there, and she's terrific, and you do not mess with a sugar baker woman. However, Kristen Ritter, she has the stuff that I find sexually attractive. Everything about that lady, I
like the way you said that. Toes.
I like what I like.
You and your fingernails.
I like what I like, and she's got everything that I like. It is it is an animal attraction, to be sure. But
and you're saying Jean Smart doesn't have that.
You and that
she doesn't.
face.
Maybe at one time she did, but and she is a handsome woman. But
I'm pretty sure in the 4th grade I had a little bit of a crush on Jean Smart.
Not surprising. She's a handsome woman, but no one's calling Kristen Ritter a handsome woman. You know what I mean? There is something about that lady, and I love that role, and she's perfect in that role. And as much as I was disappointed by the Defenders, and I don't think I'm alone in that. I think a lot of people were, because it wasn't bad, but it wasn't great either, because there's way too much Iron Fist in it. But I've got to go with Kristen Ritter, man. My word.
All right, fair enough. I'm going to be honest.
Dumb.
I think even in your talking, you have swayed me. I'm going Jean Smart. I've been.
There you go.
I've been moved. I've been moved. My soul has been stirred, and I'm saying, Jean Smart, you done won this. Walk yourself on up here and get yourself an award.
She deserves it. Look, she's a great actress, and she deserves something as prestigious as an HMPer.
Indeed. Speaking of
we should be the first awards to get emailed to people, like those Evites to a birthday party.
Hey,
there's some jib jab animation in it.
It's the 3 of us just dancing around an award.
Jean Smart looks like a hip hop dancing elf.
On to Best Female in a movie. Are the nominees. Gal Gadot as Wonder Woman and Wonder Woman in the Justice League. Is that what you retitled this, Bruce? Wonder Woman in the Justice League? Just because you're like...
No, she's in 2 movies. The same actress, the same role, okay. 2 movies.
I thought you retitled Justice League for a second. I was just like, Wonder Woman in the Justice League. It's like, well, look, we gotta mark it on what can sell.
It's rare we get the same actor, the same role, 2 movies the same year.
Good point.
It's true.
Was so long ago that now that you almost forget about it, but one of those was really good. Tessa Thompson as Valkyrie in Thor Ragnarok, or Daisy Ridley as Rey in The Last Jedi. Best female hero. Look, I'm not for nothing. I got to go Gal Gadot for Wonder Woman, and in Justice League, fair enough, but especially Wonder Woman. She just did everything that she did, man. She gets on screen. You can't stop looking at her. She's not just because she's beautiful, but she has a presence. And that's just something that was been sorely lacking in a lot of DC movies, is that you see someone on screen and they're like, that's a hero. That's somebody that I would, follow into war, because they've got it going on. They know what they're doing. Looks like they got a smart head on their shoulders, and can kick a lot of butt at the same time too, man. So my vote's Gal Gadot on this one. Bruce.
Well, if we're voting with my heart, man, it would have to be Daisy Ridley as Rey, because I just love that character. Something about that character I'm really into. I'm really behind. If I were voting with whatever it is Sean uses to vote with, I would vote for Tessa Thompson, because she's got that stuff that I like or whatever. But I'm an intellectual, so I'm going to vote with my mind, and I'm going to say Gal Gadot deserves this, man. Now, in all fairness, I'll say her performance in Justice League, I don't know if it was great or just great by comparison, but in Wonder Woman, there was no question that she carried that movie. She did a great job. I'm very impressed with her. The fact that she was pregnant during a lot of the filming of Justice League, man, I think that's impressive. Yeah, because I've never been able to make a movie while pregnant, so I take my hat off to her for that. So I vote for Gal Gadot.
Yeah, and I'll be honest with you, I'm kind of in that, Daisy Ridley's in that, she's got that same sort of it factor that Gal Gadot has as well, is that like while she's on screen and stuff, what she is doing in Star Wars, she is a very second close for me, so I didn't want to kind of put her out there and just be like, because I really like what she's doing in both of those Star Wars movies.
And Tessa Thompson's my Kristen Ritter.
There you go. All right, Sean, it is down to you, my friend.
Well, this is totally unfair because you guys did all the legwork on this, but I think that we're missing an actress in this category, and it's the little girl from Logan is also amazing.
She is in another category, but yeah, she deserves mention for sure.
But even with that being said, she wouldn't win, but she does deserve the mention.
Basically, because not enough English. That's what Sean told me in the pre-show.
I did not. You a lie. You a damn lie.
The only way they could find out is go to patreon.com/HMP. Still selling black.
I know that on the pre-show he kept asking me how much I thought it would cost to get some of Kristen Ritter's used jeans on eBay.
It seemed weird at the time, but I mean, I guess we're here now.
I put him on
Sean sounds like a real jerk.
I put him towards some John Ritter pants. They were a little more affordable. Did you vote yet?
No.
I haven't because I'm thinking I was trying to think of a joke and everything was dirty, so I have to keep going on. So, for this one for me, it's such a toss-up because I love Daisy Ridley so much in that movie. You know, she's so great, but Gal Gadot. I mean, you know, they're gonna keep that movie franchise going because of Gal Gadot. Because if there was no win with Wonder Woman, I think we would have a tear down and build up again, which I know that they're talking about doing already, but they're keeping Gal Gadot around. I promise you that. And
I could already see the future at Warner Brothers. It's Wonder Woman and the Green Lantern Corps, Wonder Woman and the Teen Titans, Wonder Woman and the Aqua Force. You know, it'll be all kinds of good stuff.
That's why I thought you retitled it, because I was just like, that's where they're gonna go at this point.
Yeah.
Mm-hmm. It makes sense to do that. There's something so joyous in her performance. And Bruce, I think it was you who said it during our review. It really does harken back to Christopher Reeve as Superman, where, there's just something so joyous in the performance, and it's just wonderful to watch. So it's Gal Gadot.
All right, next up here, we have Best Male Hero in a Series. And let me tell you, this here is a barn burner of a category. We got John Barenthal as Frank Castle in The Punisher, Dominic Cooper as Jesse Custer in Preacher Season 2, Charlie Cox as Daredevil in The Defenders, or Dan Stevens as David Haller in Legion. This is a tough one. Let's start with Sean.
Man, this is a really tough one. I got to go with the guy from Legion. He's terrific in that role. And that is not an easy role to pull off because he's not crazy, but he has to behave like he might be. Mm-hmm. And that is not nearly as easy as Dustin Hoffman being Rain Man. You know, like he can't, he doesn't have a fallback. You know, there's no Bruce Willis spit on the ground moment. You know what I mean? Like he has the toughest row to hoe, and he did it. I mean, it's the reason why I love the show so much is that everybody on that show is great, and he's the linchpin of that show. So it's him. Yeah. It's the guy whose name I don't know.
Dan Stevens.
Dan Stevens, who's also the Beast in Beauty and the Beast.
Yeah. He's also what you call it, Dickens in the new.
Yeah, when I watched The Man Who Saved Christmas, it was really fun because I pretended it was a delusion that David Haller was having.
That would be great.
That would
That's
be
a good
great.
way to watch it.
That's a decent flick, everybody. Check it out.
If it was a
it's too late now.
Shyamalan movie, that's exactly what would happen.
He wakes up in the mental institution.
With Bruce Willis outside the door going, "I'm unbreakable."
Bruce, what do you have for this guy?
Oh man, I got to say I'm with Sean on this one because I love Dan Stevens. I like his performance in Legion as David Haller. I was a little lukewarm on the first half of Legion, but after finishing the season, I really did have some appreciation for it. Maybe I was the one who came in third as far as how much we liked it, but I never for a moment questioned Dan Stevens' performance. That guy's a real gem. I will say that Barenthal, when way back when I heard he was going to be in Daredevil season 2 as the Punisher, I just couldn't see it. But now, having seen him do the Punisher 2 times around now, he does a good job and he deserves some mention. Dominic Cooper, I'll mention just so people remember that Preacher Podcast is a thing. And then Charlie Cox, I love him, but come on, we've seen a bunch of him. Dan Stevens.
Yeah, I'm going Barenthal as Frank Castle, man, because like you said, it was one that was really unexpected. Didn't know it was coming, and man, oh man. I can't believe that he did what he actually did with that role, and we'll talk a little bit more about that next week. Ooh, there's a teaser, but Dan Stevens, in the meantime, come up and get your award, sir. You have
that
won
guy's a pro.
for Best Male Hero in a Series.
That was seamless, Adam. Good job.
Next up here is Best Male Hero in a Movie, and the nominees are Hugh Jackman as Logan in Logan, Chris Pratt as Star-Lord in Guardians of the Galaxy Volume 2, Tom Holland as Spider-Man in Spider-Man Homecoming, and Taron Egerton as Eggsy in Kingsman: The Golden Circle. This, for me, gentlemen, is a slam dunk simple one. Tom Holland as Spider-Man. Come on! There's no way some little tiny British kid has to come over here and show us how to do Spider-Man better than we've ever seen Spider-Man on the screen before. Spider-Man Homecoming was a homecoming not only for Spider-Man, but for all of us going, hey, we finally have a Peter Parker that is of the appropriate age, who's going in there, and he embodies everything that makes Spider-Man Spider-Man. I love all the other actors and what they do, but let's be honest, we've seen all those other actors do those things similarly in other roles. This one, he was in the third Captain America movie for a hot minute, but here he's got a whole movie to himself. Tom Holland as Spider-Man. That's my vote. Who wants next?
I'll take next, man. And I'll just say that I appreciate where you're coming from there, Adam. You're picking the guy that just made the new big splash in the pool, fresh on the scene, fresh face, got our jaws dropped, finally doing Spider-Man right after doing him wrong for a couple of movies. But I'm going a different direction. I'm looking at that wizened performer who's taken the final bow. I'm giving a somewhat of a Lifetime Achievement Award here for Hugh Jackman playing Logan in what I just counted up are a total of 173 different movies. And Logan, of course, being the last one, except, he said he would come back for an Avengers movie, and now that might happen. But as it stands, I'll say that Hugh Jackman, in his final performance as Logan, in the movie, Logan gets my vote.
That's why I'm trying to slag it off. I think his final one's coming later. Sean.
I think I just rewatched Logan the other night, and he is amazing in that movie. And it's they're in a tight spot here because if Marvel now has Wolverine, what are they going to do? Like, how are they going to do that? I'm sure Hugh Jackman is completely down for being in the Avengers. I would be too. However, they can't do that because they're going to want to use Wolverine more than just in the Avengers. And so they're going to need a different guy. That guy doesn't exist right now. Who is that guy? And
Kumail Nanjiani, is that how you say his name?
Kumail Nanjiani as Wolverine.
That's a good movie.
Have
you seen that movie?
I am the best there is at what I do. That's a good Kumail.
It's such a good movie, Logan. And I think I didn't realize just how good it was, even though I loved it when it first came out. That movie is so well done, and Hugh Jackman is so great in it. I got to go Hugh Jackman.
All right, so that's some Hugh Jackmans all around here. Hugh Jackman, put down the HGH and come on up here and get your award, dear sir. You're gripping it too hard.
Unconfirmed.
He's busy with the 3-ring circus right now.
That's right.
Oh, man, I can't wait to see that. I hear a lot of really good things. Next award up is Best Sidekick. The nominees are BB-8 in The Last Jedi, X-23 in Logan, or Arthur in The Tick. Now, I like Arthur in The Tick a whole heck of a lot. He is super fun in this. He is that Yang to the Tick's... which did I say Yang? Yeah, okay, there you go. I couldn't remember which one it started with. I'm like,
he's
wait
Yang
a minute.
to the Tick's even more Yang. There's just a whole lot of Yang over there.
We got Yang out the Yang, boy, let me tell you.
We're just Yanging out.
Out the yin-yang.
And now here's the deal. If you had asked me 2 years ago, BB-8 would have won this award for, the other stars, for episode 7. But X-23's got to win this, man. She was so awesome. When a small child can get claws out and just start ripping dudes apart, you can't get more awesome than that. Arthur just kind of flails around. BB-8's cute and all that stuff. But there's only one of these that I want, as my sidekick if I'm going into war. That's X-23.
And, man, she can tug at the heartstrings, too.
Oh, yeah.
Yeah, it's X-23 for me as well. I tipped the hand earlier, but she's so great in that movie.
Yeah, man, I love it. I love it. Also, I'd say it wasn't fair because on the Amazon series, I feel like the Tick is more of the sidekick than Arthur is. But X-23, no contest.
Yeah.
Piece of cake. X-23, come on up here and get your reward. Ladies and gentlemen, I cannot believe it. That was a sweep. Real fast, real quick, beautiful. Up next is the category Retro Eye Candy. This is the male category. Nominees are Lyle Wagner in Wonder Woman 77, Arnold Schwarzenegger in Conan, Christopher Reeve in Superman 4, The Quest for Peace, or John Wesley Shipp in The Flash from 1990. Our retro eye our eye candy himself. Let's start it off with you, Sean. Which one of these falls under the male eye candy?
And I was leaning into the mic and everything.
Bruce is like, my time has come.
Yeah, I got to go Christopher Reeves, man. I can remember being a kid and thinking, man, I wish I could look like that guy one day. He's a good-looking man. He was a very good-looking man, and he was Superman, and he should have been Superman. He was very good-looking. I'm going Christopher Reeve on that one.
Bruce, what you got?
Well, there's no question. All of these guys are good-looking, so just being good-looking is not enough. So you have to ask yourself, are you all about the muscles, all about the body? Because that would definitely be Schwarzenegger. Or do you like the nice guy, the sweet guy? He's not only handsome, but he's sweet. A little of that Grant Gustin sweetness can be found in Christopher Reeve. And then there's, the people that have daddy issues might be into John Wesley Shipp. But I know that everybody's looking for a guy with a sense of humor. And though it doesn't show so much in Wonder Woman 77, I have watched more Carol Burnett episodes than your average customer. So I'm going with Lyle Wagner 100%. Yeah.
He almost had to that felt like he was just trying to and that's that. So shut up. I'm going Christopher Reeve too, man. Because here's the thing. He's the all-American guy. He is that, truth, justice, the American way going in. And he's just awesome. I like other people as Superman. That's all fine and well. But I think for a lot of us growing up, Christopher Reeve is and always will be Superman. And that's the beginning, middle, and end of it, man. So Christopher Reeve, you, sir, get this amazing Retro Eye Candy Award. Now, Retro Eye Candy Female Edition, we got Loretta Swift, and It's a Bird, It's a Plane, It's Superman. That was a thing we did this year.
Oh, man.
Connie Selica in The Greatest American Hero, Linda Carter in Wonder Woman 77, and Kelly LeBrock in Weird Science. Let's start with Sean this time.
Well, I cannot say Connie Selica because I have a sister who looks exactly like Connie Selica did in the 80s. So that's out. That's completely out. Loretta Swift, is that her name?
Swit.
Not doing it for me. in any way.
What, like substance abuse problems in the 70s don't do it for you? What gives?
She
had hot lips, man. She had hot lips.
She always seemed like, even on MASH, she seemed like somebody that my mom hanging out with, you know, like not doing it for me. Linda Carter, gorgeous. But I got to go, what was the other one?
Kelly LeBrock.
I got to go Kelly LeBrock, man. Even though I have not seen Weird Science in a million years, I remember two things about Weird Science, and one of them is what that movie did to me the first time I saw Kelly LeBrock. So I'm going Kelly LeBrock.
I'm going Linda Carter here, man. Still holds up. Still really, she's good looking to this day, man. And from 77 all the way here to 2017, still doing good stuff. Linda Carter all the way with me. Bruce, what do you got?
Loretta Swit, it was an honor just to be nominated, okay? Now
That's
Connie
great.
Selica. Connie Selica was considered perhaps the most beautiful woman on television during about 6 years in the 80s. And The Greatest American Hero sort of predates that just a little bit, but she still had it going on. Kelly LeBrock had this weird phenomenon. You need to rewatch the movie, Sean, because every scene she's in, she's slightly less attractive than the scene before.
Yeah.
Adam and I
Really?
even,
It's true.
yeah, Adam and I even speculated that they sort of did that on purpose to show maybe the construct decaying or something. I don't know, but she's a little less attractive in every scene she's in than she was in the one before. And it also, I mean, she makes her splash in that, underwear and a midriff sweatshirt or whatever. But man, I've said it before. I'll say it again. You can't go wrong with chowder buckets. And man, nobody put their chowder in a couple of buckets like Linda Carter did in 1977.
It's Bruce, ladies and gentlemen. What else do you want from me?
And it wasn't just the chowder bucket. She had the mud flaps to go with them, man. So she was good all the way around.
All right. So Linda Carter, spin your way on up here and get your award here. All right. So hold on. My sheet's off a little bit.
That's some vintage Bruce. I miss vintage Bruce. Mud flaps, chowder buckets. So good.
Classic. On to a couple of special awards now before we kind of get back to our regular scheduled program. A special category this evening is for Best Saban Property, and that goes to Guyver 2, Dark Hero. And our old friend Jim Beverly actually gave us that one. And we were all prepared for the worst, and it turns out it was pretty good.
Not
Best
bad.
Power Rangers movie ever made.
So
Agreed.
Best Saban Movie Property goes to Guyver 2. Best Haircut definitely goes to Chet from Weird Science.
Oh man, that's a great haircut.
Holy smokes. I don't know what they were thinking there, but they're just
the
like...
story behind the haircut is even better. I don't quite remember, but you told me, Adam, that he went to the barber and said, I want you to give me the most intense haircut possible.
Yeah, he was basically like, just shave this bit off and shave this bit off. Didn't ask any permission for anybody to do it. And he walked in and they were just like, oh my gosh, what is this? Okay, I guess this is what we're doing now because it's clearly what you've decided to do. So yeesh.
Oh, Paxton, I miss you, buddy.
And Warner Brothers finally got a award goes to Wonder Woman. You actually made a movie that didn't blow horrendous chunks, Warner Brothers. Congratulations. If only you could do it again. But it's, don't be a one-trick pony, man. Okay.
Donna Troy, Wonder Girl, due out 2020.
All right. Now on to some fun stuff here. Our worst movie award. Ooh, this is a contentious one here.
It's only new releases. I didn't
all
want to
our
get
new
into the
releases.
oldies.
Exactly. So we've got Power Rangers, Ghost in the Shell, Valerian, or Batman and Harley Quinn. Woo! What a category. Let's start with Sean, because I know at least one of those you didn't get to see, right?
Right, that is correct. To me, you know how much I hate the property of Power Rangers. I thought they did a good job until it got all Power Rangery.
The Power Rangers was good till they started out adding in them Power Rangers. Then it just sucked.
And they became the Power Rangers. I was like, nope.
No, thank you.
So how come they can't just stand on that cliff wondering how to use their power more?
It seems like a good idea.
So I got to go Power Rangers on this one, man. That movie was so disappointing to everyone who watched it that they actually killed the franchise when they were slated to make 6 movies.
Yeah.
That That is unprecedented. That is amazing, and that is why it's the worst movie this year.
Oh, if only James Cameron would be as smart and decide not to do 4 new. I hope Disney buying them goes, no more from you, sir. Bruce, what do you got for us? Worst hero movie?
Power Rangers didn't bother me that badly. I was hoping it would be a little bit better received than it was. Ghost in the Shell was mainly just boring. Yeah, I'll be honest. It was just kind of boring to me. Once again, not really something where I was super into the source material to begin with. Valerian had a whole lot of whatever the opposite of chemistry is. Guys, what's the opposite of chemistry? Is it alchemy? I don't know, but it had whatever the opposite of chemistry is in spades between the two leads in that movie. But Batman and Harley Quinn went out of its way to be wrong, man. Just it's so out of its way to be wrong with the whole seduction of Nightwing by Harley Quinn and the tasteless way that was handled. They had to put gas passing jokes in the Batmobile in this thing. And they even managed to misuse Swamp Thing, which I thought was scientifically impossible until I saw this movie. So it's hands down for me, Batman and Harley Quinn.
Yeah, same here. It's absolutely garbage, that movie. I mean, you overly sexualize characters that have no reason to be. And it is. There's just from the fart jokes to the literally 3 full music numbers that are in it that are completely unnecessary. And you're right. You're just like, and then when Swamp Thing comes in, like it comes into the third act, you're like, oh my gosh, this may have some redeeming factor to it. And all he did was basically just go like, do the thing that you want to do in the right way that you want to do it, and then just back into the swamp.
Here, Sean, is exactly what he said. He rose up and goes, I am Swamp Thing. I have the power to correct everything, but I won't. Goodbye.
Bye now.
That's awesome.
I'm sorry. Did you guys think that I could come in and like beat some people up? I don't do that anymore. Why am I 45 feet tall? It's none of your business. Well, I gotta go now.
Swamp Pilates.
I'll see you guys later. Just do I get an extra paycheck for this? What's going on, guys? It's bad. It's horrible.
More like Swamp Bummer.
Boom,
right, guys.
On to worst hero show. We've got The Inhumans, The Gifted, and Riverdale. I think I know where Sean's going to go with this one, so let's start with Bruce.
Man, this was a year where there were a lot of new comic book properties introduced on television and streaming and such. And I'm going to say probably more than we needed. I could have been just fine without any of the 3 shows on this list. But there's only one that I didn't enjoy even a little bit. Like, I couldn't find a single thing that made me happy, and that was The Inhumans.
Okay. Keenan, what do you got?
Well, these are all really bad shows. And, when 2018 starts rolling around and we're trying to figure out something to watch, let's watch The Runaways. Because Runaways...
It's on the docket.
It does everything correctly that The Gifted does wrong. Anyway. And
it sticks to Brian K. Vaughan's voice pretty well, if you ask me.
It does. Even though nothing that's happened on season 1 of Runaways so far happened in the book, but it doesn't matter. It's anyway. We'll get to it when we get to it. And as much as I can't stand the Inhumans, and I cannot stand it. At one point, I thought it'd be fun to hate watch that show. It's not even that. Like, I can't even hate watch that show. The worst show we have watched this year is Riverdale, and it's not even close for me.
As I knew,
it was such a job. It felt like a job having to watch 2 hours of that show.
It had a good musical number in the 3rd episode that redeemed the season.
Don't care. I'll never see it. Riverdale is the worst show by far. Did that show get picked up for season 2?
Oh, yeah.
Yeah, it's in the middle of season 2 right now.
I think it's in season 2 right now, currently, yeah.
Wow. Who was watching that show?
Jughead's in a gang.
Well, good. Good. I hope I hope he has to get beat out of the gang.
This week, Jughead joins the Crips.
Ridiculous.
It's
awful show.
Here's the thing. I'm the weirdo in this group, and I didn't hate any of these shows. I didn't particularly love any of them, but I didn't hate them. But I'm going to go Inhumans just on account of it needed to be a lot better than it was. And I think that by the time that they started to sort of kind of maybe figure out what they were doing, it was way too late. And they're probably not going to get another run at that. So Inhumans, this one goes to you, suckers.
You know, the biggest problem with Inhumans is that your two main characters, there is nothing about those actors where you go, wow, this might be bad dialogue, but at least they're doing the best they can. And when one of your main characters has no dialogue, he had better have a screen presence unlike which you have not seen before. And that guy does not have it. And there is nothing awesome about Black Bolt on Inhumans. And that's the biggest problem with the show. Black Bolt should be awesome, and he's not.
I think the biggest problem was they didn't let us know about the home world before we went to Earth real fast, and then there were no stakes. It didn't feel like any sort of stakes going on.
Yeah, agreed.
Going from the worst to the best now, we have the best series, and the nominees are The Defenders, The Punisher, or Legion. I'll start with this one. These are all pretty good in the opposite order. I'm going 3, 2, and 1. Legion, I'm going to go as my number one spot there. That was one that we got a limited run on that because it was, FX and we only got so many of them. But, man, I think we're getting more next year, right? Or at least that's sort of the plan. I can't wait for it, man. I think Legion is probably the most surprising of all the new series that are out there right now. So my vote is for Legion. Bruce.
The Defenders, wasn't that crazy about it. It wasn't bad, but it wasn't great. I think my expectations were through the roof. It only had like a small run of episodes, which is okay, but I wasn't expecting that. So I didn't like it as much as maybe I could have. Punisher, I didn't like it as much as maybe I could have. Legion, I actually am pretty full of admiration for that show at this point. And I think it deserves a second season, but I also think it'd be kind of magical if it was one of those shows that, like, in a few years, somebody watches it on streaming. And they're like, this show is so awesome. Why did it never get another season? And then they saw, produced by Fox. Okay. But honestly, I think Dan Stevens may be too big for that show now. I don't know.
He's not there just yet. Not just yet. But maybe beyond a season 2? I don't know. It's tough to say.
Or Legion season 2 where they recast David Haller. I mean, I don't want that.
No. I don't think that'll happen. I think he'll at least do season 2. If they go beyond season 2, I think I might be surprised.
Yeah, and that's why Legion's my favorite. My favorite of these. It's based on a property that I didn't find great in the first place. Legion has basically one run that is interesting. It's not great. It's just interesting. And what they have done with this character is just so terrific to me. And I love everything from the production design to the acting to the writing to there's just everything about this show is great. And I cannot wait for season 2.
Agreed. So,
that was easy.
Simple enough. Okay, so let's bring it on down here, and let's get to one of the biggest categories of the evening. Best Movie, New Release. And the nominees are Star Wars, The Last Jedi, Justice League, Thor Ragnarok, Kingsman Golden Circle, Wonder Woman, Guardians of the Galaxy 2, Logan, and Lego Batman. Woo! Quite a lineup there. Let's who wants to go first?
I'll go first.
Go ahead.
So all of these movies are pretty good. Justice League was surprising. It's not a great movie, but it's good. And I don't know if you guys remember or not, but I was ready to just disembowel this movie. And it's not that. It's that's pretty good, Mm-hmm. I don't think it's something that 10 years from now is going to be revisited and everyone's going to be like, you know what? We really, really tried to tear this movie apart. It's just not that movie. It's not very good, but it's not bad. It's one of those movies. But for me, the best movie of this category is The Last Jedi. It's the movie I was most looking forward to, and it far exceeded what I thought it was going to do. and it is the movie that I'm going to rewatch it again and again while in the movie theater. And so for me, it's The Last Jedi.
Very nice, Bruce.
Oh, well, I want to echo a lot of what Sean has to say. There's a lot of good stuff on here, but there's some stuff that's just any other year, man, it might be in consideration, but this was just such a crowded year. Kingsman, I love Kingsman. I love Kingsman, The Golden Circle, but I'm going to have to toss that one out, even though Kingsman was my favorite the year it came out. Thor Ragnarok, clearly the best Thor movie ever made, but I'm going to have to toss that out. Justice League, good enough, but not good enough. So I'm tossing that one out. Star Wars, it leaves me to Star Wars, Wonder Woman, Guardians 2, and Logan. Lego Batman, I'm tossing that one out. And when I look at all those, man, I can make a pretty darn good argument that I'd rather, that I would like to sit down and rewatch any one of those movies right now. But I'm going to go with Logan. It had a special feel, like something I'm not going to see again for a while, something I hadn't seen for a long time before it came out. Logan won for me, man. It easily was my favorite movie of the year. And was it Tim that sent us the email?
I believe so, yeah.
I'm backing Tim up on this one.
Like I said, we have a glut of pretty decent movies here. Even the ones like Justice League, which aren't even like super, super great, are still not that bad. Right. We're living in a world of, we're getting a lot of superhero movies, and a lot of them are pretty darn good. I gotta go, and we'll talk about it here in our next category in just a second. I'm going Star Wars: The Last Jedi as well. This is something that, like I said, I didn't know what it was going to be going in, and it has now exceeded all of my expectations and stuff. So with a slight nose, we're going Star Wars: The Last Jedi is the best movie. I know that this is going to be very controversial to a lot of folks out there, but write us at heromoviepodcast@gmail.com. We'll promptly throw those in the delete file.
Look, man. Like I love Logan. I said it earlier on the show. Logan's a great, great movie. Wonder Woman is a great movie, but there's the third act problems with that movie. But when it comes to The Last Jedi, for me, it needed to be something more than just Star Wars, and it was, and that's why I love it so much. That's why it's my favorite movie of the year.
Well, what a lovely way to transition into our next to last category here. Chance to re-rate anything that we've done this year. And I'll start this one with my re-rating of Star Wars: The Last Jedi. I'm going up to... I'm going all the way up. I'm going to Dick Grayson here.
Good job by you,
I saw it again, and with all preconceived notions out of the way, I really sat back and tripled down on my thoughts, and I feel that this one is going to be the same way that I had with Force Awakens, as every time I watch it, I like it a little bit more. And man, what that movie does, and I put this out as a tweet. I said, if you don't like The Last Jedi, here's the thing. I think while you were looking, you outgrew Star Wars. But at the exact same time, Star Wars also outgrew you. And I'm going to be talking about this on an episode of Nerd Talk Now at the beginning of next year. I'm going into a big Star Wars thing, so I do want to hear and talk with people about that, because I want to see it at least one or two more times in the theater. But man, it is... it's really good, and it does just kind of it sticks its nose up at what all of us fans expected, what they all think is going to happen. And you have to realize movies aren't just a wish fulfillment for you. It's what the story is that's going to be placed in front of you, and you have to reckon with that. Now, if you don't like it, that's fine. I get that. But you also have to remember, there's a difference between your expectations for a movie and what a movie actually is. And I think some of those people that are hating on it now, in a couple years, they may change their mind. So for me, Star Wars, The Last Jedi is going all the way up to Dick Grayson for me. Anyone else? Oh, my goodness.
I think, and I could be wrong here, but I think I rated Power Rangers at Tim Drake. And I don't know if I was caught up in the moment. I really was trying to make it be better than it was. Maybe I was just trying to needle at Sean a little bit. I don't know. But that movie's not that good. Damian Wayne is what I should have rated it at the very highest. And I really feel like I might have given it to Tim Drake just because we had been reviewing a run of bad movies, and I was trying to convince myself that this one wasn't as bad as those around it. But yeah, I overrated Power Rangers.
That can happen on this show, man. When you get like a real long slog of losers and stuff, when there's something that's not so bad, you're like, this is fantastic.
Yeah, because we had that disappointing run of new releases, you know.
Sean, anything to re-rate?
I do. For me, I think that I gave Logan a Tim Drake, but it's a Dick Grayson, that movie. It's just so good. So that's going to be my flip. If I did, in fact, not give it a Dick Grayson in the first place. It's really terrific.
And I want to say, Tim, I'm as close as you can get. It's like I just wasn't 1,000% bowled over with Logan. I really, really liked it. I own it on 4K Blu-ray and everything, man. I got the whole 9 yards. It's just that it missed it by that much, as the saying goes. So that's how it is. Okay, so we're down to our last category here, and man, oh man, let me tell you, we are living in what we call good times, gentlemen. Good times, because this is the most anticipated. So here are the things that are coming out next year, and one of them I think you've got to be wrong on, Bruce, but we'll check it out. Here are the nominees: Black Panther, New Mutants, Avengers: Infinity War, Solo: A Star Wars Story, Deadpool 2, Incredibles 2, Ant-Man and the Wasp, Teen Titans Go the Movie, Venom, Dark Phoenix, Spider-Man Into the Spider-Verse, and you think Aquaman's coming out in 2018? What kind of drugs are you on?
Well, I looked at Box Office Mojo. It might have been January 2019, and it showed up at the end of December.
We're gonna take that one off. I don't think that's a thing. I just don't buy it.
I still don't think New Mutants is a thing, but what can I say?
Hey, there's at least a trailer out
I just
for that.
saw a movie poster for it.
There's a trailer, so they're making it. And I'll be honest with you. I'll go first. The New Mutants, I like the idea of that because it feels like we're finally doing something different in the kind of mutant verse.
Release date for Aquaman, December 21st, 2018.
I'll believe it when I see it.
Yeah, it's there.
Sure it will be. Sure. Well, yeah, it's DC. Come on. They shuffle around cards like the guy at the Three Monty.
Well, I mean, they've already shot it, haven't they? With Willem Dafoe?
With Willem? I don't think so. I don't know. I'll believe it when I see it. But New Mutants looks like it's going to be cool, man, because it looks like it's going in like a weird horror direction for a mutant movie and stuff like that. Looks pretty cool.
It does look cool.
There's a lot of crazy stuff in here, man. But I feel like I've got to go a Black Panther on this, man, because it just looks like it's so cool. It looks like it's so different from anything else that we've ever seen. But Infinity War is going to be amazing. That much we can know. But it's a tough one. But just because it's its own brand new, unique thing, I'm going to go Black Panther for most anticipated.
I'll go next here, man, because I'm looking down the list. February's been good to me, so I have high hopes for Black Panther. I've really enjoyed the February releases the last few years. New Mutants, I don't know, man. It's like hanging out in this blind spot where you'll tell me it's coming out in 3 days, and I'll realize that I have to go watch it. Like, I'll totally forget about it till it comes out. Avengers: Infinity War, the Russo brothers have not let us down yet. I'm kind of curious to see what they're going to do with this, but I'm also, man, it's a big job. It's a big job. You can't hold it against them if it falls a little flat in some parts, so I'm not getting my hopes up too high. Solo, come on, man. What in the world? The behind the scenes on Solo has just dampened any excitement I have for that. Deadpool 2, it could have that sequel disappointment. The Incredibles 2, I didn't like The Incredibles 1 as much as other people do. Ant-Man and the Wasp, whatever, I'll see it. But Teen Titans Go. This is something that's like totally new, totally different, totally outside the box. I think I'm going to laugh at it. Teen Titans Go, they call them uncle jokes instead of dad jokes, but they do not shy away from them. I'm going to, have my T-shirt that says Booyah across the front. I'm going to be there with waffles. I'll take my own waffles so I can sing the waffle song. I'm going to be watching Teen Titans Go more than once on opening weekend.
Listen, I love me some Teen Titans Go, man. That's on the list for me for sure. I'm telling you, it's an embarrassment of riches. Sean, most anticipated of 2018.
Avengers: Infinity War. When it comes to Marvel with these gigantic movies that they're making, they've were only slightly off with the second Avengers movie. But since the Russo brothers have gotten involved, those movies are just amazing, and they have not failed me yet. So I am looking most forward to Infinity War. I think that Bruce might be on to something with Deadpool 2, because if you go further than the first one went, you're doing it wrong.
Yeah.
And it feels like they're going to want bigger, badder, better when it comes to that movie.
Do you think there's a chance they might be doing like last minute reshoots just to take TJ Miller off the cast list?
Wow, do you think that's happened? Why are they taking TJ Miller out?
Well, he's the latest guy who's popped up on these scandals that you see on the interwebs and stuff.
Oh, what a surprise!
Yeah, they spent a lot of money to take Kevin Spacey out of that movie about the rich guy. So I don't know. I imagine TJ Miller has a lot less screen time, so it'd be easy to kind of cut and paste, but then it might feel a little uneven.
I don't know.
Wow.
It's going to be, I think we've fallen into the problem that there was with Deadpool even before Deadpool was like a movie, And I've said it. I've been to plenty of conventions, and the people that were all, cosplaying as Deadpool were all a bunch of D-bags. And I feel it's only gotten worse. So
I think if they keep the budget low, I'm hoping they didn't like quadruple the budget, because that could be bad. I think part of what made it work is they kept the budget low and had to have fun and be smart and not be flashy.
The only thing I'm worried about that is just Domino looking like Barf from Spaceballs with her little
I'm kind of worried about Cable looking too much like Thanos.
That guy looks awful familiar.
The only thing that I think with Solo, there's a secret sauce with Solo that no one is really talking about yet, and that's Glover.
Yeah.
Having Glover in that movie as Lando, that is going to be great. And
I agree with that 100%.
That could really be what makes the difference, to be honest.
And Donald Glover, there's something about that dude where it feels like he's going to take over the universe here in probably 2 years. And I think this is one of the linchpins of that happening. But even if the movie isn't great, I think that he is going to be great in it. Although, I have my trepidations about seeing that movie, because I think it's a mistake to go backwards with Han Solo. I think you keep him awesome, keep him cool, and don't go too deep into it, man.
But hey, man, it's the pairing we've been begging for since 1977. Give me some Ron Howard and Han Solo.
Kids have been writing about it forever. It's just like, can't that Opie kid direct a Star Wars movie?
I love Star Wars. It's a dream come true.
Everything's coming up Millhouse, everybody. Well, it is the end of 2017 as you guys are hearing this. Hope you have enjoyed this on a lovely Christmas day or just shortly thereafter, leaning on into the new year. And what we do here at the end of the new year as well is we have to take a look back. We have to look back at the year that was and figure out what the state of Stallone is in 2017.
Thank you, Adam. I have a prepared statement.
Oh.
And this year of our Lord, 2017, it's been a pretty good year for Sylvester Stallone. He was on an episode of the TV show This Is Us, something I've never seen, but people whose opinion I absolutely do not trust say good things.
That's true.
The person who said this to me also stated that later Britney is completely underrated, where I think that all right-thinking people believe she's rated adequately. Sylvester Stallone also did a voice for Animal Crackers, a feature-length animated movie that was in the movie theaters for roughly 11 seconds, which is 11 seconds longer than the movie I've been working on for a full year now. So I probably should stop throwing stones in this house, what with the glass and everything. But most importantly to this program, Stallone did a great job as Stacker Ogord in Guardians of the Galaxy 2. Man, here's the thing. Right. So I'm so like I was like, get the name right. And then I screw up the name of the movie instead. Ridiculous. And Guardians of the Galaxy Volume 2. And he is and he is great in it. Look at it like this. If you replace Stallone with absolutely anyone else in this role, could they have done a better job? Gary Oldman, Tom Hardy, the kid who played the boy in the Santa Claus? Because I would say that they might do the same level of job, especially the Santa Claus kid, but it wouldn't be better. And it's weird to think that we started this bit when we offhandedly said, it'd be funny linking Stallone to everything. And the reason why we did it is because we thought there was something inherently jokey about Stallone because he's super famous, but he hasn't made a ton of great movies. But recently he has. And as it turns out, Guardians 2 is a great movie. And I can't speak for Adam or Bruce, but Stallone has totally changed my opinion about him. Because if somebody were to tell me 10 years ago, hey, Stallone is going to make an appearance in the new Iron Man movie coming out, I would have thought less of that movie. But now I would really like to see what that looks like.
Yeah.
Guardians 2 feels like it's already been a little bit forgotten, which is a shame because Stallone adds a level of gravity to a movie that already has Kurt Russell and arguably the biggest movie star in the world in it, and he makes it better. So the State of Stallone for 2017, he's solid, but he needs to stop doing voiceover work for horribly animated movies. And there you have it, HMPers. This year's State of Stallone. By the way, I've made some huge life changes in 2017 also, and I'm very pleased with where my life is headed, and I hope all of HMP is too. Now, Bruce and Adam, let's finish out this year the way we always do, with a breakdancing contest. And the winner doesn't have to watch the upcoming Venom movie.
Oh, boy. I'm breaking out the old salt and pepper shaker.
Oh, I'm going to be dancing my butt off here. Because, oh boy. No, let me assure you guys that we are doing right by Venom. It's like no one cares that you're doing right by Venom. It's just going to be bad. It's just
much rather see a Carnage movie. No kidding.
Yeah, you're right. Carnage is a far more interesting movie character.
We shall see. So next week, we're going to ring in the new year, everybody, by checking out the second half of The Punisher. We've been letting that languish a little bit there, but hey, we're going to come back. We're going to do a little bit of that, and let me tell you, as you've seen from our upcoming list and everything, we got a lot of things coming in 2018 and a lot of other stuff as well. I mean, between the TV and all the other kind of good stuff, don't worry. You're going to get plenty of HMP material. In the meantime, Bruce, where can we find more of your work on the internet, sir?
It's the holidays. I'm not going to try to hawk any of my wares. I just want to tell everybody Merry Christmas, Happy New Year, and in 2018, please try to be peaceful, loving, and kind.
Aw, isn't that sweet? Keenan, what do you have to bring the world of goodness?
I'm blown away by that, Bruce. Good job by you. Let's end this year a lot better than the year ended last year. 2016 was so awful. It was such a bad year, and it ended so poorly. And 2017, we have the opportunity to do great things, and we should. And that's it. That's all I got to say.
I wish you all fear, pestilence, and everything else that goes wrong in life. Why? Because I'm the other side of that coin that says, hello, I'm here too. But no, seriously, I am so thankful that you guys listen every single week. I'm thankful that I have two lovely co-hosts who help me and make me a heck of a lot better person than I actually am in real life. And but seriously, all of you guys at patreon.com/HMP, anybody that goes out and reviews us on iTunes and all that good jazz. I had an iTunes review, but I forgot about it. We'll read you next week. Don't worry. You'll be the first one of 2018. How's that for a good old-fashioned humdinger? So we'll check that out as well. But seriously, guys, thank you so much. And, tell a friend. Tell a friend about the show. Let them know that you love it. And we will see you guys all next year. For Sean Keenan, Bruce Leslie, I'm Adam Portrais. Stay super, everybody.
Bye, Marty and Evie.